Kevin O'Leary on CNN, giving the Democrats the business.
Stocks. This is the second at pick stocks. This is the second time the Democratic Party has circumvented democracy and chose.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Hillary Clinton was chosen, and she had Bruce Springsteen too. And what happened to her? And now we've chosen.
Kevin, Hillary Clinton won a primary. Okay, she won a primary. You may not.
Nobody
like
could compete with her, even Bernie Sanders.
She won a primary.
She won a primary, and everything was stacked her way, and you know it. Everyone knows it. Back in the day, before Tim Black got blackballed, I had Donna Brazile on here. She told the truth. The Hillary Clinton campaign controlled everything in the DNC. That was undemocratic as hell. They had their foot, their arm, the baby, the hell. Bill sat on the scale. The scale was tipped in her favor. Big time. It was they. Bernie didn't have a shot at all. And Bernie's policies would have been a lot better for the black community than Hillary's. But anyway, she lost, so what the hell? But that's not the point. The point is, he's right. The Democratic Party has unfair elections, and you know it. Their primary elections suck. They just suck. And later, Abby's not even going to disagree. I mean, she tries to put up a little bit of a fight, but.
Okay. First of all, that's the first
thing.
So
did Kamala Harris win the primary?
Listen, we've talked about this before.
What's wrong about talking about it tonight after what you just saw?
Do you think that's really what matters to voters?
Right now.
How many Democrats wish?
Your whole shtick has been, let's talk about what matters to voters. Do you really think voters care about the internecine primary process?
If you're a Democrat, you sure as...
She's saying, dude, you don't think voters care if they get to choose who the primary winner is? Do you really think Democrats care who gets to run for president under the Democratic Party against the Republican Party? Yeah, I think they care, whoever this person is. Yeah, we care. I mean, I care. Americans care. Do Democratic voters care? I would think they care unless they're Republicans or independents. Everyone should care because it's going to come down to, due to the way our system is crafted, it's going to come down to just a couple of people. I mean, I would love for it to really come down to Dr. Cornel West, Dr. Jill Stein, Claudia Dela Cruz, and even RFK Jr. Keep it funky. But to make it come down to whoever the Republican voters chose and whoever the Democratic Party chose. Not Democratic Party voters. And for you to say your only argument push back to what Kevin O'Leary is saying about it being undemocratic is no one cares. No, you don't care. You don't care because it's not your job to care. It's our job to care. You don't give a shit. Who does she work for? Look at her face. Look at her expression. Just as cynical can give a shit if the people are hosed or not. She couldn't care less if you get screwed. She doesn't give a damn about you being disenfranchised. The millions of black, white, Latino, Asians that cast their vote in the primary, throw it out the door. Get those votes out of here. We choose her. The most unliked vice president in the history since we've been counting vice presidents' likability. We choose her. But she didn't care. That's not a point. This is not relevant. This is BS.
Healthcare today.
I know that you are from Canada, but the primary process.
That's why I'm perfect for this. I have no skin in the game other than to get a great president.
It's not in the Constitution. The political parties can choose however they want to choose their nominee.
Right.
And as long as they meet the legal deadlines in the states where they are on the ballot, they can do it however they want.
There you go. And that's the reason why when these dummies are telling me that I'm wrong when I criticize the Democratic Party, I know they don't know anything. I know they don't know anything. I've known this since 2016 because I interviewed a number of people. There was something called the DNC fraud lawsuit where they took the DNC to court. The DNC controls the elections for the Democratic Party. And in a court of law, that was their argument. The Democratic Party, the DNC argued, we can do whatever we want. Your votes are just merely a wish. Your votes really mean nothing. Anytime they want, they could say, screw your votes. The people that brought that lawsuit basically went Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puffs. Why? Because they were harassed and dogged and dragged through the mud. Process server, for some reason, lost his life. That's a whole bunch of stuff that went on. But Elizabeth and Jared Beck were their names. And that lawsuit introduced me to some good people and some people that were horrible, but mostly good people. And we got to the bottom of it. And that's when I understood. And that's when I had Donna Brazil on. And there was a whole lot of stuff going on around the 2016 elections. And we were there covering. And folks, anybody who's a Democrat who thinks they have any ground to stand on to fit in this party doesn't know anything. This party is a private company, will operate the way it wants to. You have no say whatsoever. Your votes don't mean shit. Your votes matter until they don't want them to matter, and then they don't matter. And then there's no explanation. You see them trying to ask questions. Hey, why did we get rid of Joe? Joe, what really made you drop out? He's under no real obligation to tell you why. Even if you send him hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even if you raise $500 million. Then we have Kamala being installed as the Democratic nominee. No votes. No votes need to be cast. You heard Abby. Abby knows that's the system and still supports it. Maybe she knew that going in. I didn't know it. I learned it in 2015. I was just like anybody else who thought the Democratic Party does things democratically. Here's the thing. I bet you the Republican Party could do the same thing if it wanted to. But see, the Republicans will burn it down. Yeah, if they did that shit to the Republicans, there wouldn't be no more Republican Party because they would go ape shit. But the Democratic Party, their people, as in Democratic voters, they're fine with being hoes. They're fine with their party deciding for them because they like elitism. They like the overseer telling them who gonna be the person and to shut up and fall in line. They're on that corporate bullshit. How else can you describe it? How else can you explain it? You don't think the Republicans didn't want to get rid of Trump? Yeah, you think the Republicans wanted Trump 3 times in a row to run through the Republican primary field like a knife through hot butter? He ran through that field like Earl Campbell, Walter Payton, Emmett Smith his way through all of those establishment hacks on the Republican Party. Do you really think the Republicans wanted that to happen? But what could they do? He caught fire with the Republican voters, and they were not going to do what the Democrats have done. And that is why I've been telling people, when they don't understand, you don't understand. My battle is not just with Kamala, it's with the Democratic Party. Because they do shit like this. They install a person, admit they installed them, and these sheep go with it. There will never be anything good for black people behind a party that don't give a shit what people want. See, we could want all types of things, any number of things, from reparations to free healthcare, or healthcare paid for by healthcare for every individual, or schools that are paid for by, just like Israel has. Israel has free healthcare for its citizens and has tuition for its citizens. When we say that here, people lose their damn minds. When other countries that we give money to, that we provide arms to, have that system already in place. But none of those things, anything that we want, anything that we think we deserve, we can't get. And then we got a bunch of sellouts in the Democratic Party who are getting paid very well to lie. And part of the reason why the Democrats get to get away with it is that they have Beyonce doing benefits for Kamala right now. Because they got Bruce Springsteen coming out doing benefits like he did. Because we got all these big name, corrupt, Hollywood actors and singers and performers making people or spreading a narrative that these are the good guys. And you just don't understand. They mean the best. And they're evil over there. It's not evil to take people's voices away. You know, a vote is a person's voice. In a democracy, your vote is your voice. You guys had no voice at all in this election, and you're fine with it. Not only are you fine with it, you'll be on my timeline telling me I'm a sellout because I ain't fine with it. Pathetic. Abby, at least Abby tells the truth, and I'm so glad she said it out loud because people need to know it, and that's what you have. That's the Democratic Party. That's who they are. That's what you have, and that's why they deserve to be burnt to the ground. Not literally, figuratively. Just make it an empty nest.